Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's continue where we left off from the previous video. And we wrote this old school and I'd say ugly long formula in order to extract the last word from a text. And now let's do the same with VBA. So Alt F11 to launch the Visual Basic Editor, and let's insert a module. And I will start writing a function which I will call get last word. It is going to accept one argument which I will call text, and it's going to be of data type string. And the function will also return string, but I will update this in just a second. And I'd like to declare a variable here which I will call words, and then let's assign words to be equal to split. Yeah, we can use the split function, and we will split the text that is being provided by its space. And now let's write stop here because I want to debug that function. And in the immediate window, we can write a question mark and refer to the new function that we just wrote, get last word. And for the text, I can pass one of these values here. So let's provide the first one, which is cell A2. So this is going to be range A2 dot value. Now click enter. And it stopped the execution here because it's in a debug mode. And here in the locals window, if I extend words, we can see that we have an array here and it contains all words. So it says that meeting could have been an email. And now the question is how to get the last item in that array. And luckily there are two functions which are very handy when it comes to array in VBA. And these are the lower bound and upper bound functions. And the lower bound functions will, in this case, always return 0. And the upper bound function will return the maximum index in that array. And to show you this, if I write here debug.print and write UBound of words, and if I click F8 now and one more time, we should see here 6. So that means that we can directly assign get last word to be equal to words, and instead of hard coding here 6, we will pass this UBound words. And now I don't need this stop and debug print statement. And I can also add here the data type that the function returns string. So if I test it here, it returns email. And if I test it for cell A3, it's going to return priority. And we can directly test the function in the worksheet by typing the equal sign or writing get last word. And the argument here will be whatever we have in cell A2. And then with double click, it's going to be applied for all cells. But I believe it's going to be better to create a subroutine so it automatically populates all cells with a single click. So let's do this. And back to the Visual Basic Editor. I will start writing a subroutine which I will call maybe extract last words. And I will need two variables because I will write a loop. So one to find the last row and another variable to loop, to use as a counter in that loop. So dim last row as long and I as long. The last row will be cells rows.count comma 1 dot end excel up dot row. And then for I equals 2 to last row, next I. Now in order to make this a little bit more understandable, I will declare one more variable, although I don't need it. So I will declare a variable text, which will be of type string. And the text will be the cells on row I and column 1, because it's column A, dot value. And then in order to write back to the cells, we have to make reference to the cells on row I and column 4, because it's letter D. So here cells I, comma 4 dot value equals get last word, and we will pass here our text variable. So now if I click run, and maybe I should move the Visual Basic editor a little bit to see what's going on. And if I click run now, we can see that the last words have been extracted with a single click. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, I believe this should be easier to understand than this old school way of nesting so many formulas in order to extract the last word. So, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll make sure to reply as fast as I can. And I'll see you in the next one.